What is up guys, Kartaka here, and today I'm here with another Digimon deck profile. Today we'll be doing an updated Terriermon deck from the support from ST-17. So without further ado, let's get right into deck profile. So first off, for the Digitamons, we are going to be running 4 of the Gummymons from ST-17. Whenever you have a Tamer and you attack, you can draw one. So this is the new generic Tamer Draw Tama for green. So yeah, we have a lot of Tamers, so getting that draw one is pretty easy. If you think the draws are enough, then you can probably run a DP boost instead, but I quite like the draws just to dig through my deck a bit faster. So next, for the level 6s, we are going to be running 4 of the Mega Gargomon Ace. So this is the new boss monster for the deck, and it's pretty strong. I quite like it. So first off, it can evolve on top of any Rapidmon for 5 costs, so it does not have a level restriction. So as long as you have Rapidmon on the field and your opponent attacks, you can Blast Digivolve. Then on evolution, you can choose 2 Digimon or Tamers and rest them. Afterwards, until the end of your opponent's turn, 2 of their opponent's Digimon cannot unsuspend, as well as Digivolve, which is really strong because it kind of locks your opponent from doing anything with that Digimon, which is really good. And the third effect, I guess, is on evolution and end of attack. You can make this Digimon active again, so you can use it to attack twice, which has some pretty cool applications, which we'll talk about later. So yeah, running 4 of those. Next, for level 5s, we are going to be running 4 of the Rapidmons. So Rapidmon is here just to de-digivolve your opponent, and it is a Rapidmon, so you can Blast Evolve on top of that. The Inherit skill also lets you trash opponent's security if you can destroy it by battle. Destroy opponent's Digimon by battle. And this works on both turns, so if you use your Mega Gargomon to block after you Blast Digivolve, you can trash the security, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's all we're running for level 5s, because this deck is actually more of an armor rush deck than anything. We'll talk about that now, because we're going on to level 4s. We're running 4 of the old Rapidmon. So this Rapidmon has Armor Purge, as well as on evolution. For every Tamer you have on the board, you can rest one opponent's Digimon. Afterwards, at the end of the turn, your opponent's rested Digimon, 3 of your opponent's rested Digimon gets -3, 5,000 DP, so you can do a little bit of a DP reduction there, which is pretty good. And it kind of combos, you can use this in conjunction with the Rapidmon, because you can reduce the DP, and afterwards you can Digivolve into the Rapidmon, or Digivolve into the Rapidmon, and de-Digivolve them, and potentially that could pop the Digimon, but yeah, we'll see. Sometimes if they're level 5s on the board, you can do the pop pretty easily. If it's level 6, it's less likely, but having their DP minus might be useful for other things. Next, for the other level 4, we're running 4 of the ST-17 Rapidmon. This is the new Rapidmon from the trial deck, the start deck. It's really good. It's got Blocker and Armor Purge, as well as on both players' turn. When this card rests, you can give one of your opponent's Digimon -4k, and all the security Digimon also get -4k. So if you attack with this one, the -4k really helps it survive, so it's pretty nice. And for the other level 4, we're running 4 of the Gargomon from BT3. We are running this mainly because it is a 1 cost to evolve. So if you do want to go into your level 5 Rapidmon, this is the fastest way to get into that one. So we're running that for that reason. We also need to run a Gargomon in this deck in order for us to warp with Henry. So we're running the 4 copies of the Gargomon just for that case. But if you want to run a more traditional, Mega Gargomon build, maybe you can cut 2 of these out for 2 more, or two more of these out usually for 2 more Gargomons. But I quite like the Rapidmon lineup in this build just because it gives me easy access to the Mega Gargomon Ace. And yeah, so we're running 4 of the Gargomon there. Next, moving on to the level 3s, we are running 4 of the Terriermon from ST-17. So this one lets you, once per turn during your main phase, you can play a Tamer, Green Tamer, or a Lotmon, level 3, for 2 cost less. So if you're playing a Memory Setter, it costs 2 cost. If you're playing a Lotmon from this trial deck, it costs 1. So it's pretty good. It helps you get a lot of Tamers on the board, and that sets up for combos. And yeah, it's just a nice Terriermon to have. And I think it's going to be pretty useful in a lot of other green decks, just because you can get Tamers out for a lot cheaper, which is really good. Next, we're running 4 of the BT8 Terriermon. This one lets search the top 5 for a Rapidmon or a Gargomon in its name. So yeah, it's pretty good because you can search top 5, which is quite a big number to search, because usually it's either 4 or 3. Rarely we have 5, but this one's pretty good for that. Downside is it can't search for Henry, but that's okay, because I think this came out in a Willis set. Alright, next for the other level 3s, we're running 2 of the Lotmon. Once per turn, you can give one of your Digimon Alliance. So it's pretty good. This is also pretty good, but we don't have too much space to run 4. You can, but we're also running 2 of the Memory Choker Terriermon, just because I think it's a nice option to have in this deck. But let's go back to the Lotmon. We're running 2 of these. So you can give Alliance to one of your Digimon. Usually you're going to give it to either your Armor Rush Digimon or your either give it to your level 4 Rapidmon or your Mega Gargomon Ace, because Mega Gargomon Ace, you'll be able to attack 2 times with it, so you can do potentially 3 security checks. For the Rapidmons, it's nice to give it the extra DP and check, because even if it crashes, it has armor purge, so it can live for the second check. So that's pretty nice. We're also running Fire Rocket in this deck, which we'll talk about later, which also helps it live through a few more checks. So it's pretty nice. But that is all of the Digimon running in this deck. Next, we are going to be talking about the Tamers and whatnot, and the consistency boosters, I guess. So for the Tamers, running 2 Henry. So because we are only running, we're not running that many level 5 and above Digimon, we're not running Mimi in this deck. You can choose to run Mimi if you want, but I recommend it for a more traditional build where you have more level 5s and level 6s. But I think in this build, the Henry is pretty good, just because whenever one of your Gargomon or Rapidmon attack, you can rest one of your opponent's Digimon, which, as we mentioned before, the Mega Gargomon can unsuspend. So what you can do is attack with attack security with Mega Gargomon first time, and use this to rest their Digimon. And then when it suspends, you can use this to go to hit into their other Digimon. If you have the level 5 Rapidmon, you can still trash security, so it's pretty good for eliminating threats as well as trashing security while you're at it. And it also bypasses security bombs, so pretty good. And it's also flavor, you know me, I like my flavor, so running the Henrys for that reason. Next, we're running 2 of the Biomerge Henrys. So Biomerge Henry is here just in case you do need to go for game, but you don't have a way to do so. And this is really good in conjunction with the Double Typhoon, because you can slap down a Terriermon for free. And if you have this in the beginning of turn, you'll be able to get the extra memory. So if you have these 2 on the board, you can go up to 4, which lets you Biomerge that Terriermon into the Gargomon for 4 cost, which you should have. And then you can go for 2 attacks like that. And you can potentially go for games like that just to catch your opponent off guard. But yeah, that is here for that. And we're also running 3 of the Izzy's from ST-14 or ST-4. So whenever opponent's Digimon is rested, you can rest his tamer to get 1 memory. We're running 3 of these Izzy's because he's 2 costs. So you can, if you have Terriermon on the board, you can play it for free, which is really good. And after that, you're just going to get memory whenever you rest something. So massive massive profits when you're using him. Next, for the consistency boosters, we are running 4 of the Double Typhoons. So let's look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and then you can grab a green Digimon as well as a Tamer and add it to your hand. And then this goes to the battle area, and then the main effect for this, the delay, is to play a Terriermon or Lockmon for free. So pretty good just to get a Digimon on the board. And of course, as mentioned before, if you have Henry, you can bio merge into the Mega Gargomon to potentially go for game. So that's just 2 checks right there. So if they're at 1 security, it's lethal. Next, for the other consistency booster, we're running 4 of the agility training. Since we're running 4 of the Double Typhoons already, I opted not to run the green memory boost. But you can cut it down to 2-2 if you want, but we're just running 4 because Digivolving into the Rapidmon is pretty expensive. It's 3 costs, so if doing it for 1 is a lot better. That way you can also have cost left over to use Fire Rocket. And the last option card we're running is the Fire Rocket. So Fire Rocket is here because a lot of times our attackers are going to be the Rapidmon, and you want to do extra juicy checks with it, so you're going to be able to Fire Rocket, attack with this, and then do 2 checks with it. So it's pretty good for that, and this is my current lineup for the options as well as the Tamers. So yeah, overall this deck, it's pretty good. I think being able to just blast evolve on top of any Rapidmon is very, very good. Yeah, it definitely makes the deck a lot better, which I don't mind. And yeah, that is pretty much it for this deck profile, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. If you want to go on support the channel, feel free to use the affiliate links. But this is Card Haiku, and I will see you guys next time.